Yes, so hello guys, welcome back to another edition of Sports Updates Ghana. My name is Joseph Adamafio, and the Black Princesses of Ghana lost by 2-0 against Japan in the ongoing Women's Under-20 FIFA World Cup in Costa Rica, and I'm here to bring you up to speed on all that happened in that particular match. So as usual, if today's your first time or you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe, like, share, and don't forget to leave a comment. So quickly, let's get into the details. And Ghana's Black Princesses suffered a 2-0 defeat at the hands of the Japanese Under-20 female team in the ongoing Women's Under-20 FIFA World Cup in Costa Rica. The Black Princesses came into the game as a well-improved side as they kept the Japanese at bay for 45 minutes. Despite dominating the game, the Japanese were unable to score a goal in the first 45 minutes. They made several attempts at scoring goals in the first half, such that they had 9 shots at goal, but unfortunately the Japanese were unfortunate to get a goal. But the Black Princesses were an improved side because their defense was good, and in attack they tried to shape up very well, but unfortunately Ben Foko's girls were unable to get any goal in the game. Well, in the second half, that was when the Japanese continued their dominance in the game, and they were ably rewarded with a penalty after Susan Bia caught the ball with her hands after a Japanese player tried to whip him across, and that was where Suzy Dua caught the ball with the hands, and the referee pointed to the spot to award a penalty to Japan. And well, Japanese number 10 shirted player stepped up and scored the goal for Japan to give them their first goal in the game. Ghana's goalkeeper Conlan was unable to get hold of the ball as she was indecisive on which part to turn, whether to go left or right. But in the end, it was a 1-0. Then later on in the game, the Japanese were awarded another penalty after a Black Princess defender brought down her marker in the box, and the referee again pointed to the spot, and the same spot, that was where the Japanese player sent the ball. But unfortunately, our goalkeeper Conlan also went the wrong way, making Japan and a 2-0 win over the Black Princesses. Later on in the game, the Black Princesses, seeing that they've lost it all, decided to push forward for a goal, but it was too late. But they managed to get a goal which was ruled offside by the VAR. So the Black Princesses lost the game by 2-0 against Japan, and what it means is that the Black Princesses are currently out of the tournament after losing 2 games consecutively. They lost 3-0 to Japan, they lost 3-0 to USA, and they lost 2-0 to Japan today on Sunday, August 14th. Their next match will be against the Netherlands. But before we get into that Netherlands match, let's look at some of the things that we saw in this game, the observation I made in this game. So the first observation I made is that, well, the Black Princesses presented a well-improved side, such that for the first 45 minutes they didn't concede a goal in this particular game, because looking at the first game they played against USA, by 30th minute the Black Princesses had conceded a goal, and they were shot by one woman after they were shown a red card. So coming into this game, I expected the Black Princesses to play above themselves a little bit, and I think they did just that, but the goal wasn't coming, and that was where the difficulty was. And well, secondly, what I saw was that their defense was also rock solid, to the extent that Japan, who are the defending champions of the Women's Under-20 tournament, were unable to score a goal. They didn't score a goal directly. They got penalties, and that was how they were able to score the goals. I always say that if there was no penalties, what would happen in 90 minutes for games such as this? But it tells you that Ghana's defense was very, very solid. A team that won the tournament some few years ago, coming on to play Ghana, who have not been able to progress out of the group stages in a long while. Well, I expected Japan to come very stronger, but the Ghanaian team proved also that they were much more stronger. Well, one of the things that I think was a big worry in this game was that the Black Princesses committed some basic primary school mistakes. When you look at the penalty, the 2 penalties, you realize that Suzy Dua raised her hands wide, and that was how the Japanese player shot the ball into her hands. Then the second one, a cross was sent in, then it fell to the Japanese player. So in an attempt to clear the ball, the Ghanaian defender was too harsh on the Japanese player, ending up pulling the legs of the Japanese player for the referee to point to the spot. So you can see the mistakes were there, and we got a number of yellow cards. Some of the tackles, I think, was needless, but it tells you that, well, our girls are tough, and they ended up showing up against Japan in such a manner. And I think that was one of the banes of the Black Princesses in this particular game. The next thing I realized about this particular game was that, well, there was no connection when it comes to transitioning the ball from the goalkeeper to defense to midfield to attack. It was very difficult for us, and that is what I said in the first match against USA. There was a disconnection between the midfield and attack and defense. The more was with Ghana in defense throughout, and anytime we were in attack, it's for us to get into attack, we have to send long balls. The midfield was not connecting, and that was what I think contributed in Ghana's defeat against Japan, because anytime you were in attack, it was either through a long ball or a player who had to run with the ball from defense to the attack, and, well, unfortunately our players were unable to score the goals. Doris Buidwa did her own thing well. I think Mukarama also did her best up front, and for Tay also did very well. This time she wasn't wasting enough opportunities. He was sending the correct passes, except that we were unable to convert them into goals. So I think the connection was very poor in this game. Well, the other thing I realized was that, well, the passes was also not very good. Well, give the ball to the Black Princesses, and in less than 20 seconds we will lose possession. That is what I'm talking about. The Black Princesses were unable to hold on to the ball for a longer time. Anytime they got hold of the ball, the Japanese were moving into their spaces and making sure that they won the balls. And when the Japanese had the ball, that is when you see the Black Princesses moving back into their post, and this is not good. I think that Benfoko should have charged her ladies to go for the ball rather than staying behind and parking the bus to ensure that the Japanese ran into our defense. I think our passing game was not on point, it was not accurate, and that was why I think the connection between midfield and defense as well as attack was not coming through. And I think going to our last game, we have to work on this particular thing about our passes, because I realized that the moment we were able to get our passes correct, that was when we were able to make it into the Japanese half, and, well, we ended up making one or two shots at goal. But, well, the last thing I think about the Black Princesses so far at their tournament is that, well, I think they've been very good, and, well, I expect them to win their last game against the Netherlands. Well, as it stands now, Netherlands and both Ghana are out of the tournament. USA beat Ghana by 3-0 in the first match. They went on to beat Netherlands by 1-0 in the second match. Japan defeated Netherlands by 1-0 in their first match. In the second match, they defeated Ghana. So as it stands now, USA has 6 points and more goals than Japan. Japan also has 6 points, but they are short of, I think, 1 goal, and that is how come USA are topping the chart. For Netherlands and Ghana, we both don't have a point after losing 2 of our first games, and, well, as it stands now, the last games will be between USA versus Japan. That will be the third game in the group stages, and we are all in Group D. Ghana will face Netherlands. We are out of the competition. We are both out, and, well, for the Black Princesses to console themselves, I think they must be able to get a win against the Dutch team. So that is what I'm looking forward to see in the final game. Benfoco's ladies should step up their game. I must say that, well, the team was good, and I think the changes that Benfoco made to the first team, that is what helped the Black Princesses to do very well in this particular game. If not for penalties, I don't think we would have lost this particular game. But, well, that will be it for this episode of Sports Updates Ghana. Please do subscribe, like, share, and don't forget to leave a comment. Thanks for watching.